Let's start with basic geometry, 3D objects. To go to your 3D objects, click on the Create panel, select Geometry button and click on that. And then under this pull-down list we have a list of 3D objects. Let's start with standard primitives. When I select standard primitives, you can see that I have 10 different object types to choose from. These are my standard primitives. These are the box, the sphere, cylinder, torus, teapot, cone, geosphere, tube, pyramid, and prism. And I'm going to show you how to create all of these individually. I want you to note, however, that below in the stack, when I select a different object type, the stack changes. My options change. The stack is dynamic, so when I select a different object, I can manipulate that object's creation manually. I can also use the keyboard entry to manually enter numbers to create an object. Let's start with the box. We'll look down in the stack here and we can see that we can create this by creating a cube, which is equilateral on all the sides, or a box. If I select cube, go to my top view, click my left mouse button and drag, I create a cube. Hit the delete key to get rid of it. If I select box, go to your top view, click the left mouse button, and you can draw the footprint of your object, and you can see in the perspective view that's happening. And you can see the numbers under parameters changing as I drag the mouse. When I get the footprint I want, let go of the left mouse button, and you can move the mouse again to extrude in either direction. When you want to save that change, click the left mouse button one last time. I'm going to hit the delete key and try a different shape, a different object type. My sphere standard primitive is just that, a sphere. I can create this sphere from the center, that is where I click my mouse, and out. So if I go to my top view, click my left mouse button and drag, I create a sphere from the center. Hit delete. If I do this from the edge, click the left mouse button in any view, and I can create a sphere from the edge. You can also create an object with keyboard entry. Let's try this for the sphere. I want my object to be at the point 0, 0, 0 in my 3D world. This is where these dark lines converge in all my views. And I want my radius to be 52 units. I click the Create button, and it creates a sphere at the point 0, 0, 0 with a radius of 52 units. I'm going to hit the delete key to delete that object, and I'm going to try a cylinder. Again, I can create the cylinder from the edge or from the center. I'm just going to create it from the center. Go to my top view, click and drag to create the footprint of the cylinder. Let go of the left mouse button, move the mouse up or down to extrude in either direction, and then when I like what I see, click the left mouse button one last time. I'm going to hit delete. Let's try this from the front view. Click and drag to create the footprint. Let go of the left mouse button and extrude. Let's try that one more time in the left view. Click and drag to create the footprint. Let go of the mouse button and extrude in either direction. The torus object is essentially a donut shape. I'm going to create it from the center. In the top view, I click and drag to create the torus. When I let go of the left mouse button and I move the mouse up and down, I can adjust the thickness of the torus. And then click when I like what I see. I'm going to hit the delete key. Click on the teapot button. In any view, I'm going to use the top view. I'm going to click and drag and create a teapot. Now you may think this is kind of a funny object to have under standard primitives, and the history of this is that when 3D programs were just starting to be developed, the teapot shape was a shape that was very difficult to program mathematically. So when the makers of 3D Studio Max decided on standard primitives sort of an inside joke that this is a standard primitive. Hit the delete key to get rid of it. The cone object can be created by selecting the cone button, go to any one of your views. Let's do this from the center. Click and drag to create the footprint of the cone. Let go of the left mouse button. Now you can extrude the cone shape. Click the left mouse button one more time. Now move the mouse up and down to either expand or contract the tip of the cone. When you get the shape you like, click the left mouse button one last time. Hit the delete key to get rid of the object. The geosphere is an interesting object. At first glance it looks like a sphere, so if I create this, it looks sort of like a sphere. In the top, front, and left views, however, you can see that there are a bunch of polygons making up this object. So let's use the hand tool to scroll down in the stack for the geosphere. Let's change the number of segments. And as we decrease the number of segments, you can see that the detail of this object is slowly degrading. And you can change the type of base for this geodesic object. This is just mathematically describing this shape. There are a bunch of options down here that you can play with to create this object. Hit the delete key to get rid of it. To create a tube, click on the tube button, create your footprint in any one of your views, click and drag the left mouse button to create the footprint, let go of the left mouse button, move the mouse up and down to determine the wall thickness of the tube. When you like the wall thickness, click the left mouse button and then move the mouse up and down to extrude the tube. The pyramid object is very similar to the cone object. Go to your top view, click and drag to create the footprint. When you like the footprint, let go of the left mouse button, move the mouse up to extrude your pyramid in either direction or down. Click the left mouse button again to finalize the object. I'm going to hit delete to get rid of that. And finally we have our prism object. Create the footprint of the prism by clicking and dragging. Then let go of the left mouse button and change the shape of the triangle. You can see in the top view that I'm changing the shape of the footprint after placing it. Once I like the shape, click one more time and extrude the prism. And then click the left mouse button one more time to finalize the shape. These are the standard primitives in 3D Studio Max. They can be found under the Create panel, under the Geometry button, and under the pull-down Standard Primitives.